Ready? G'day, John Miller here, Managing Director of More Profit, Less Time, and welcome back to our latest edition in the Business Leaders series. Today I'm actually joined by Simon Madden. Simon.
Good to be here.
Thanks, mate.
No, thank you.
Now, anybody who actually follows any modicum of sport probably knows that Simon was probably one of the greatest blokes ever to lace on a set of boots and play a game called AFL.
AFL, long time ago, but was very pleased to do it, but it is a while ago now.
A little while. Now, what you may not know is that for a number of years now, Simon's been working with businesses of all sorts of shapes and sizes and helping them to develop their teams, culture, and a whole host of other areas. So rather than me tell you about it, I'd like Simon to tell you a bit more about it and then discuss what that actually does to actually help you in your business.
Thanks very much, mate. Look, it's really interesting. I suppose some of the things I saw in sport, I saw missing for business. I've been involved in business now for just over 18 years, and the last 4 years in my own business. And I look at companies and assist them in improving their people. So whether it's leadership development, team building or cultural improvement, and also sales training is starting to develop as well in that specific area. But I see businesses wanting to improve but not understanding how they get their people improved, and from that improve their productivity, which is a fancy word that gets bandied around a bit, but improve their people's productivity and improve their bottom line. But it's all about understanding the people, what motivates them, understanding how they can improve the connection between themselves and their business, the people within their business, the people within the business together, and their connection with their clients. So it's all about that, and making them sure they understand how they can do that, which then gives them the best company they can be involved in. Of course, that gives them a great company to deal with clients. The clients are happy. Funny about that.
Yes, spot on. So one of the things that I know we spoke about earlier was actually the translation of the vision and values from the top down and the bottom up. Maybe you could just explain a little bit more about that.
Look, that's a good point. I see a lot of big businesses work really well on the vision and the planning in the future, and have trouble actually directing that and connecting that down to the day-to-day existence of their employees and their clients. And I say client, not a customer. Customer is a one-off sale, a client is an ongoing sale for me. But also I see small business being really working in the business, right, working in it and having troubles and struggling to get up and look at the big picture. So what I see is virtually small businesses doing this and not being able to do that. And then bigger businesses doing this and struggling to get back down there and look at. So it's that very simple thing for each company. You've got to work on the business, you've got to work in the business, and you've got to know what that value is. You've got to understand what your vision is, how that connects day to day to the day-to-day existence of your workers and your clients.
No, spot on. And that's something that we all see every day. And look, I'm sure it's not you, but it might be another business owner like you that struggles with that exact same thing. Look, I think one of the poignant things that you said to me was a story that you were talking about with NASA where somebody bumped into a sweeper.
Look, it's a story that's been around for ages, but I think it's a great story because years ago when they looked at developing the rockets to go to the moon, etc., there was an entry, people entered into the NASA buildings, and there was a cleaner, and somebody said, "What do you do?" And he said, "I'm helping put a man on the moon." He didn't say I'm cleaning the floor, he said I'm helping put a man on the moon. So the vision of the NASA space program was directly linked to his day-to-day, and he understood it, and he saw where his job fitted into the big picture. And good leaders, good companies are able to do that, and they get the best out of their workers. And I keep looking and seeing that one of the most underutilised resources of companies more and more is their people.
Absolutely. And it's usually one that most business owners complain about. It costs them the most amount of money, most amount of heartaches, and yet they spend the least amount of time, effort and energy actually working with them.
Well, and you can't blame anybody because we work in a product-driven world, and that's last century. Now it's more and more about how do we actually get the value of our products and services and turn them into good solutions for our clients. And one of that is the people who do that, but it's very easy to measure and count and look at products and even services, but to actually get those soft skills, what a lot of people talk about, but your workers actually understanding their clients, the workers understanding each other, you understanding your workers, actually getting those real conversations with people, real understanding, that's very hard for some people to understand, and it's very hard to quantify. And so it's much easier to go back and work on the product.
Very true.
And that's
sad but true.
And that's where the future of business is. Yeah. If you're just working on products and price, then you'll be like everybody else and you won't stand out from the crowd. But if you actually start looking at what does our product, services, our people, our whole business, what are the solutions they provide to the people? What do the clients get out of what we do? How does it help their business? How do we positively impact their life, their business life? If we can actually start working on that, then it's not about the products and services, it's about how you improve your client's life. And if you do that really well, you've got a client for life.
Absolutely. Particularly if you can gel the two together, the functional as well as the form of the business.
Oh,
To
exactly
make sure
right.
it works, because otherwise you can have a great vision, you can have a great idea, but unless you can actually deliver.
Exactly right. No, exactly right. And it's really interesting because it's, you know, the old stat of the small business, a lot of small businesses go broke in the first 3 years,
Yeah.
and some even the first 2 years, is because they have a great idea, but that's all they've got.
Yeah.
And they haven't got a real plan, they haven't got a visionary plan, but also they haven't got a day-to-day plan, and they haven't linked the two together. And it's also about continual improvement. The world is changing rapidly. And if you're stuck in an old measurement, old paradigm, old existence, and say, oh, that'll be right, then you could get left behind, because the world is changing at a great rate. And if you're not moving with it, if you're not in control of your own change, then you might be one of those companies that goes broke.
Fantastic, great wisdom. Now, let me put you on the spot. If there were 3 things that you could suggest that somebody could do to improve in their business right now, what do you think those 3 things could be?
Very good question. I'd say the first thing you have to do is look at the big picture. Do they have a proper plan? Do they understand what their company stands for? That's the first one. Because a lot of companies say, oh, we're an accounting firm, or we're a construction firm. What's your positive point of difference? What stands out? What makes you stand out from everybody else? So that's the first point. The second point of that is underlying it, that is, what are the values you stand for? I think a lot of people worry about our politicians because they don't know what they stand for anymore. A lot of big organisations can't tell people what they stand for. So you've got to be able to say to your clients, hey, we stand for this. And you can link in with us because this is what we truly, honestly stand for. So that's from there to there. And then the next thing I think is, well, what do we do? And it's 1, 2, 3. What do we actually do that connects our clients with the values we stand for? And how do we show our clients that we do that? Vision, and then the steps towards that, and the connection with the client. I think they're the 3 things that are really important for me.
Excellent. Well, mate, I'm almost speechless, and anybody who knows me knows that that's kind of hard to achieve, which is kind of interesting. Now, I'm sure that you can actually take quite a bit away from that. And look, I'm very privileged to have met Simon and to have spent a little bit of time with him, and looking forward to delivering some more of these messages from him to you, and perhaps some of the events that we'll end up running together. So thank you very much for your time. I appreciate your patience, and I appreciate yours, mate.
No, great, mate. Great to talk, and thanks for the opportunity. And I hope everybody out there gets at least one little thing from that.
Mate, if they don't get at least 3, then there's something seriously wrong. Thanks very much, and I look forward to seeing you in the next edition of the Business Leaders Series. See you for now.